All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with another video. And guess who? It's again Jason Blaha. You know, our friendly neighborhood strength and fitness channel, Jason Blaha. They're lifting, friggin' diet, gym slave, bro. Yeah, man. Anyways, let's review this video. Jason Blaha says, "We are building muscle or just moving weight. Are we building muscle or just moving weight? You're just moving weight because weights don't build muscle." Well, people get this idea that weights have some magic powers to build muscles is crazy. All right, let's review this video.
And I'm not saying ego lifting or cheating or even just lifting heavy.
Hold on.
Are you building muscle or are you just moving weight? And I'm not saying ego lifting.
And like I said, you're just moving weight. You're not building muscle. Muscles are not built in gyms. Wow, you could build sarcoplasmic muscle by pumping glycogen in there. So you had a shitload of complex carbohydrates, and then you just keep lifting. So you could pump more of this glycogen for every gram, 3 grams of water drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle. So yeah, you can build muscle in the gym. Yeah, it's sarcoplasmic though. It's artificial. It's fake.
Or cheating or even just lifting heavy, even with bad form, doesn't build muscle.
The truth is, weights damage muscles. Now, how they damage it, how you damage, the types of damage that you get in the gym is all relative. If you're adapted, it could be hypoxia, oxidative, this, that, whatever. May not be micro injuries to muscle fibers or a swelling of a cell. I don't know. It's really complex, bro. Many mechanisms, maybe tissue damage, this, that. Many things can happen.
I do want to be clear here. Resistance is resistance, tension is tension. But are you getting the most out of your exercises in general? And again, understand that when it comes to even powerlifting, we should be building muscle for that. Again, I've competed a lot as a powerlifter, coach a lot of powerlifters.
I would agree, yeah. They get what they call in powerlifting. It's like I said, I did this before. They can get some fiber splitting. They can split fibers by lifting astronomically heavy weights. Does it happen all the time? Not particularly. When does it happen? As an adaptation process. But the problem was it mentioned that they kept coming back too soon. So they fucked up the remodeling effect of these muscles. So they forked and then they don't work. They don't work properly.
But keeping in mind, your max lifts are not the same as your muscle building. Okay, so even in that context.
Yeah, it's, again, this building of the muscle, again, is sarcoplasmic. To build muscle, sarcoplasmic. To break muscle, myofibrillar. It's just, man, it's kind of obvious, you know, hello.
Next, we are obviously not doing a max.
Where do you build contractile proteins? Where do you build them? When you eat. When protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown, you could build that mass on that myofibrillar. How do you build that mass? In contractile proteins. Now, if you load a shitload of glycogen, which your muscle can hold a lot of glycogen, you'd be surprised how many pounds of glycogen you could be holding. The sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. And that is not associated with contractile proteins. It's glycogen proteins. And Larry Wheels put on 53 pounds at the Golden Griddle. Remember? In 1 week eating at the Golden Griddle after his debut in bodybuilding, he ate there and he gained 53 pounds. Do you think that is 53 pounds of myofibrillar growth? That is crazy. Or even contractile proteins. Do you think he built 53 pounds of contractile proteins on the myofibrillar? Like, getting the myofibrillar bigger? Impossible. No, he's not. He has problems even getting bigger. He can't get bigger. He's tried. He's talked about it on his channel, Larry Wheels. Why can't Larry Wheels build any muscle? He's taking steroids. Takes a lot of steroids. Why can't he get bigger? He just can't get bigger. Think about that. Because he doesn't have enough muscle fibers. You have to build more muscle fibers and then they get bigger. They call that an M&D size limit.
Deadlift or a max bench for the purpose of gaining muscle, and we understand that. But we also need to gain muscle in order to have the best possible, you know, squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look, man, it's like the thing I showed you before, nuclei overload, this training thing, or nuclei overload from NCBI. The map shows you untrained people, they come in, they lift a bunch of weights, right? Whatever they could manage. They get this damage, they get a donation of the progenitor cell donates its nuclei, plus it fills in the cracks in the domes with more myofibrillars, and then it hypertrophies. You get some mass. When you eat, it kind of hypertrophies. Get it? Now, what type of hypertrophy is that? Maybe it's under a microscope. If you ate enough protein, then you could possibly see it on your body. I can't tell you, okay? But I can tell you that when you get bigger, you get stronger. So now that you got these, you hypertrophied, you got these progenitors, whatever, you built some muscle, myofibular. When you come back to the gym, you notice you're stronger now. So what should you do? Lift heavier. You should move to lift heavier because your muscles now are resilient from being damaged with a repeated bout of the same stuff that you're doing. So it's time to lift heavier. Plus, you have to take some time off to repair and remodel those muscle fibers. You understand me? You reach more adaptations that way by lifting heavier. You can keep doing this. Your problem is people are just scared or lazy or something, or they want to look too good in the gym. You can use a lot of eccentric exercises to lift heavier. You can even use negatives, eccentrics. You can use partials. Whatever it takes to get there. That is the most important thing. Forget about looking pretty in a gym. That people only see the finished product. They don't give a shit about the gym. But eventually, when you do get there, when you get to that, how should I put it, to that peak, you're gonna be super strong. Your concentric movements should be super strong. Could be lifting heavy. Could be doing a whole bunch of things. Because if that's what you want to do. Me personally, I like sports, but if you want to stay in a gym and be a gym rat, like a gym slave, go ahead, be there and keep lifting forever. Some people I think some people, they're afraid to get big. They just keep lifting forever, endlessly in the gym. They love to pretend to be big. They're lazy, they don't want to eat, they pretend, hypertrophy, they get inflammatory responses, and then they get addicted to the pump and inflammatory response, this transient hypertrophy, and they just keep chasing that forever and ever and ever. I call them gym slaves, lifting slaves, yes.
So if you watch just some of the stuff I'm doing,
the scales are going up for them constantly. They weigh themselves. The weight is going up, going down, down and up. They don't even know where they are. These people, some of them, they come in, these young people, older people. I just watch these people. I see them standing on the scale when they come into the gym. They're constantly weighing themselves. Why are they weighing themselves? I don't know. What are they looking for there? They go upstairs, they lift the same weights, they do the same exercises. They're there day in and day out, and they never change. They always look the same. And me, I always look different, and I barely lift, and they're so jealous of me. Got one guy talking about me, something about my arms, this, that, this. I'm on steroids or something. Got some other dude talking to my friends, telling bad things about me. Man, it's just crazy people coming to the gym. They're even jealous of you when you're in the gym because you are making it. They're not. Like I said, some people, I think maybe it's psychological. They're scared. They just want to continue coming to the gym and failing. They're scared to succeed because once they succeed, they reach the goal. Where is there to go after that? Nowhere. So they love to be trapped as a lifting gym slave. Get it? That's what I try to explain to some people. They enjoy that. They really enjoy that, to be trapped there forever. Can't miss a workout day, right? Or eating or this and that, whatever.
Here, I mean, perfect example. Look at the flat benching and the incline benching I'm doing here. Okay, yes. You'll get guys all the time. They're like, I can't build a big chest with bench pressing.
You can't tear down the deeper, weaker muscle fibers in your chest to grow them bigger, better, stronger, and faster, providing you're in an anabolic growth state. You have to eat in an anabolic growth state, otherwise you'll get an apoptosis during this necrosis.
What do you mean? Oh, I'm just different from... No, you're not. You're not different. The average guy struggles to build their chest with a bench, even though the bench press itself is one of the best.
Bench presses don't build your chest, they damage your chest. But like I said, if you want to build sarcoplasmic, eat a lot of glycogen and pump more of it. Pump it like crazy, lifting these weights. You'll get an adaptation in some, androgen receptors, giving you more force production. You can pretend like, yeah, I'm strong, I got some force production. And then look, I got bigger. Yeah, get fucking glycogen, yeah. glycogen. You never increased your natural strength by increasing the amount of myofibrils you carry in your body. That is your problem.
Chest exercises out there. Why? Why did your bench look anything like mine did there? Did you see me bouncing the weight off my chest? Did you see me stopping halfway down?
I see nothing. I see a waste of time. He does the same exercises day in and day out. He doesn't focus on partial eccentrics. He doesn't do negative eccentrics. It's all like just fucking the same exercises. It's just bullshit. He's adapted.
No. What are we doing? We're going down into a stretch position, right?
There's many people like him that go to the gym. They're comfortable. If you're comfortable, you can't make gains. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable to make gains. The old saying was, no pain, no gain. And I'm not joking. If there's no pain, there's no gain there. I mean, it's associated with pain, muscle damage, or these muscle injuries, but that doesn't mean that's not the kind of pain that's gonna kill you. But like I said, it's also regenerative. As you get older, you're losing these progenitor cells. Just watch any channel, they'll explain to you, you're losing muscle as you're getting older. You're gonna get weaker really fast. And it comes really fast, like 60, 70 comes really quick. This age, you're gonna be an old man one day. Like all you gonna be old men, and trust me, you're gonna be crying. You're gonna be crying.
Going down under control, very soft touch. You can pause also, right? Either one of those works. Barely touching the skin, and then coming back up. Okay. Notice also my wrists were stacked. Notice I have control of the weight, and I'm taking it through a deep stretch at the bottom. Right. That's more what we're concerned about. Not saying the lockout doesn't matter. It does, but.
Oh, he wants a deep stretch, he says. Okay, yeah, you want a deep stretch.
Again, getting that stretch.
It's the repetitive stretches that cause the muscle to break. I told you, you can literally sit in a stretched position on the floor, or you with your toes up in the air, like your heels hitting the ground, and your calves in a stretched position. What will happen if you stand like that for an hour, 2 or 3 hours like that? Maybe watching a movie, TV, whatever, just standing up instead of sitting down. I could tell you your body most likely will grow these myofibrils. They'll form them. They'll form them because they'll think this is highly unusual behavior. And so we need to strengthen ourselves because this position that we're in. So that's like the bird when they hung the weight on the bird's wing, that weight would hang all the way down in a stretched position. The wing would be in a stretched position, and the weight would be hanging on its wing. So what did it do? It started to increase the amount of myofibrils in it without even being damaged. You understand me? It actually formed. They formed in there because the bird can't flap its wing. It needs more muscle to get stronger. Think about it. How does a bird get stronger? You think it lifts a heavy weight to get stronger? No. What it does is they tie a weight to the bird. And guess what the bird does? The bird's body does. It increases the amount of myofibrils. That's how the bird gets stronger. But, you know, people here today, human beings, you know how they get stronger? Through adaptations, chemical strength. Yeah, they're crazy. They're like, I gotta go to the gym. I'm gonna get some chemical strength. Get good at lifting these weights. Did they build any myofibrils? No, they didn't build any myofibrils. See what I mean? Like I said, it's all relative what you want to do, how you build muscle. You could wear ankle weights around your wrists and walk around all day with them. They'll pull your traps down and your shoulder area, some parts of your body there, the upper part, and it'll form some myofibrils. But it has to be very long. It has to be on there for quite a long time. Like I said, the stretch positions, you can sit on the floor. You can sit on your feet, your legs bent, and the quadriceps still start forming myofibrils. Your calves, the same thing. I don't know. If you're watching TV, you can extend your biceps while holding these wrist weights in a stretch position, and there too can form some myofibrils. It all depends, all relative what people are doing out there, you know. Yeah.
The most important, right? We're putting the pectorals into tension, picking a grip that's wide enough that the pecs get stretched, then doing that. Same thing, look at these rows here. A lot of times guys are like, I don't feel my lats on rows. Well, I'm doing the most probably arm dominant version of a bent over row you can do, yet still still get a good lat pump. Why? What's going on?
Again, he says he's getting a good lat pump from doing that, from doing some of these exercises. Okay, he's getting a pump. You think you're going to get a pump on a carnivore diet? No, you're not going to get pumped at all. There's no pumping going on there. So what is he growing in the gym getting the pump? I told you, it's glycogen, so it's sarcoplasmic muscles. He's puffy. He's kind of puffy. He's like puff.
Stretching at the bottom. We are making sure that on a row, when you are rowing, you need to make sure that you are not way upright when you get to the bottom, right? You need enough forward bend that your lats aren't working. Your scapula should come apart, right? So that we're actually stretching the lats. Whether you choose to use a cheat row.
Your scapula should come apart. We're stretching the scapula. Yeah, you're just pulling it apart. Okay, whatever.
Whether you choose to use body English, no matter what you're doing, it's the same. You need that stretch. You know, the same thing. If you're going to jump on a machine or lat pull down or whatever, and you're not spreading the scapula, you're not going to get great lat development. And it doesn't matter. Someone's like, but I saw this one pro bodybuilder who's still done it. But it's like, how much gear is he on? Right? Like I see Sam Salute doing that, but it's like Sam Salute uses more gear than the average IFBB pro. So why would you care? It's very clear.
Sam Sulek doesn't care anything about Blaha. He cares about his future. He's busy. He's busy. He's building something. He's busy. His channel is massive. He has a massive following. People want him. They want to be around him, surrounded by him. Yeah, because he's smart. He knows what he's doing.
A lot of experts have critiqued his stuff. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So why are you watching that?
Oh, he knows what he's doing. He knows. He's aware of everything he's doing, Sam Sulek. He's doing what is best for him. That's all, to make money.
Okay? You're not him. And that's the thing you have to remind people. When you watch someone who is extremely genetically gifted and they're on a
He's not extremely genetically gifted. He's just on gear. That's all.
lot of stuff, don't assume that what they're doing is automatically perfect, right? If you try to emulate something they're doing that may be incorrect, or you're misunderstanding it, because you'll see a lot.
Yes, let's emulate these people on cosmetics and see if it works for us. They took a cosmetic, but we didn't. But let's see if it works for us. Come on, man. This is the stupidest shit.
Bodybuilders, they are doing things with a good mind-muscle connection. They do have a feel for their body. You think you're imitating them, but you're not. Okay? Context. And it doesn't mean that it's going to work for someone who is an average Joe. It may not. So you have to start looking at, are you actually working the muscles? Because if you are trying to stimulate muscle growth, you've got to be working the muscles. Okay? What does that mean? It means we need stretches. Not every exercise needs a contraction. And sometimes, yes, getting a good contraction at the top is important on some exercises, if it's an exercise that allows for that. You know? Like a really wide grip pull-up like I'm doing here may not allow for that as well, but it allows for a hell of a stretch at the bottom, okay? But, you know, that's the thing, and I think what happens a lot of times, people go to the two extremes too far, and this is what ends up killing their ability to make gains. They either cheat so much that they don't work the muscles they want to work, right, to the degree that they would like, or I've
Okay, Blaha, where are you going with this?
watched guys try to control eccentric reps and stuff so much that they don't even reach the bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that. They figured it out, the eccentric part. Problem is, a lot of these people are adapted, and they're doing the same weights, doing the same stuff. They're adapted to these things. Coming in too often, yeah.
And I've seen that a lot with rowing, by the way. Rows are notorious for that. I've watched.
Like you, Blaha, you do the same exercises day in and day out. Day in and day out. You're adapted. You're just a lifting factory worker, lifting boxes all day, man. It's crazy.
Guys try to do super slow eccentrics on rows, and then they stop short. You guys notice that? I've watched lifters do that. I've had clients come to me do that. And I'm like, well, this is why you don't feel your lats. Have you tried actually stretching all the way to the bottom? If we're trying to control it so much that you stop the bottom 20% of the exercise, go ahead and lower the weight all the way down. Quit trying to do a 5-second negative. 1 second negative is fine. Like, there's never been any study to my knowledge that found that a 1 second negative doesn't maximize muscle growth. Anything more than about 4 seems to hurt it. Not my opinion. This is what 15-year-old studies were showing, right? So even if you're talking about an eccentric, look at the curls there. That's all you need. That is a controlled eccentric. 1 second.
1 second? That's a controlled eccentric? He's just throwing the weight. He's swinging it.
All right, same thing. People do curls, other stuff. What do you see them do all the time? They'll curl their wrists all the way up. They skip the bottom, and they curl their wrist, and then they get to the top, and so they unload the bicep at the top, and they never actually work the bicep at the bottom. They don't take it through the full range of motion at the bottom, and when they do come up, they also unload it. Because they'll place it into a spot where there's no tension at all. And I'm not saying you need continual tension, but again...
It's not where the tension, it's where the lengthening part is. They don't lengthen it, they just keep it at the top, like you said. It's not tension, it's the lengthening part. They're not allowing it to... the stretch. They don't allow the stretch, man. Come on.
Guys, are you just moving a weight, or are we trying to stimulate growth? And you need to think about.
He's been watching my videos because I keep talking about eccentric, concentric. The concentric movement, people are throwing weights up in the air. Look, I'm observing everybody. When people do OHPs, what do? They bend their body, they spring their body, they spring the weight up in the air. They're not really lifting it. If they did, they would stand completely still and lift it if they had the strength to actually lift all that. They just want to make it look good on camera that they can actually lift heavy. You've seen a guy with like 315 pounds doing an OHP. He's springing the weight to the top, throwing it. It's an illusion to make you think that he can actually do 315. He could never do 315 standing there by himself in OHP. He can't do it. That's why he has to spring it, because if he could do it, he wouldn't have to throw it off his chest and use his knees and spring it up into the air. See what I mean? It's just to impress people, to pretend like they are stronger than they are, but they're springing the weight up in the air. It's like the Olympic lifters. They throw these weights around off their hips. They're throwing it. It's like they're throwing it up in the air. Are they really that strong? If they're so strong, why don't they just lift it up and put it up normally? Like normally, just put it. Why do they have to throw the weight up in the air and do all these weird things? See what I mean? When people bench press, why are they bouncing it off their chest? And I see people put foam, they're bouncing it off their chest, they're bouncing weights. They curve their back using their shoulders. They're not even using their chest. I've never seen this before. It's something new for me. I've never seen that. I guess all these people now, they start curving their back, so they're cheating at the exercise. I got to cheat at that to pretend I can lift heavy. I got to spring to throw the weight up in the air to pretend it's heavy. I have to bounce the weight off my chest to pretend it's heavy. They have to do all these things. Even like with the squat, they're bouncing a lot. They bounce. They go and they bounce, or they go partial. They don't go all the way down either. A lot of people, they don't go all the way down. Even with the deadlift, they try to throw the weight. What they're doing, they're pulling it so hard, is to throw it up in the air, to get it up as fast as possible. That's the whole ambition, to get it up as fast as possible, so they don't have to go through the stress of lifting it, because that weight is stronger than them. Get it? See what I mean? It's stronger than them. Yeah.
That was nothing. I'm not telling you not to train hard. I'm not telling you not to lift big weights. We obviously want to get stronger. Okay? We obviously want to get stronger.
Okay, how do you get stronger? How does a bird get stronger? How does it get stronger? If you tie up a weight on its wing, how did it get stronger, the bird? It grew new myofibulars. Yeah. It became denser and stronger, so it now can flap its wing with that weight. It'll keep growing it to accommodate that weight that's hanging on its wing, so it can flap and fly. Your body doesn't see that there's the wing doesn't the bird's body doesn't see that there's a weight hanging there. It's an instinctual thing. It's an adaptation. There's something there heavy, and it's got to adapt to this heavy weight being on there by growing what? More myofibrillars. Now, if you were to walk with a heavy weight on your back, or you standing up with your arms for hours, like walking from like one town to the other with like buckets of water on your back or something, whatever, heavy shit, you're going to get an adaptation. What will that adaptation be? I can't tell you. It could be more myofibrillar growth. It could be contractile proteins. I don't know exactly, okay? It's complicated. I just know in the stretch position, if it's a stretch position, you definitely will get myofibrillars. Now, just walking with a weight, you may get a swelling of a cell. There may be contractile growth there. I can't tell you for sure. I doubt that there's any kind of myofibrillar growth from walking with a heavy weight. That's isometric. That isn't based on the stretch.
But even then, I'll even quote the powerlifting coach Louis Simmons. He's like, when it comes to your accessory work, hear him say that all the time. Think like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, think like a bodybuilder. The accessory. I don't know why you're calling this accessory work. It's not accessory work. It's damaging. You're isolating parts to damage them so they can come back bigger and stronger. Arm wrestlers, do they do powerlifting? No, they don't do fucking powerlifting arm wrestlers. They fucking arm wrestle, bro. They're using the limbs. Do you understand me? So why the fuck would they do powerlifting? That's why powerlifters are weak at arm wrestling, because powerlifting has nothing to do with the limb. You understand me? Strengthening it through myofibrillar growth. Hello.
Greatest powerlifting coaches.
There is a lot of stretching going on in arm wrestling. That's how their arms are getting stronger. They're stretching like crazy. They're using tension against each other, these weights for tension, trying to grow more myofibrillars. They're trying to grow the density in their arms so they could get stronger.
In history, telling you when it comes to your accessory work has to build muscle. Think like a body.
Their arm is not trying to get better at lifting a heavy weight. I'm not saying they're not using their arms to lift heavy. You understand me? That heaviness that they're doing, there's a constant stretch on their arm. Look at how they're moving it. It's that constant stretch. They're kind of like extending and moving constantly in real time because they're chasing the stretch. That to them, they're thinking, okay, that will get me more myofibrillars in that area or whatever. Yeah. You can literally sit watching TV like I told you. You can sit on your palms. Let your arms stretch, your forearms stretch. The back part or the front part. You can bend your hand from the front down or from the front up. And in that bent stretch position, you keep it like that for about 3 hours watching a movie. Anytime you go to the movies, just sit on your hands in a very stretched position while you're watching the movie. It's what, 2 hours and a half or something, some long ass movie, and I guarantee you're gonna grow some myofibrillars. They'll grow in there after 2-3 hours. The body will be forced to grow them. This is unusual behavior. So there's many ways to get myofibrillar growth. You literally can sit in these stretched positions, or you can cause micro tears. And then they fill the cracks in the domes with more what? Myofibrillars. Hello. Yeah. And depending on how much damage there is, if it's massive damage, then it may create an extra fiber. So it will fill in the cracks in the domes. There'll be a repair and a remodeling. And then it'll grow another fiber based on the first one. So that's sometimes people are shooting for. Some are shooting. I was shooting for that. I'm shooting for that. Yeah.
Most out of the exercise. Don't let the exercise get the most out of you. Okay. You see where we're going with that? We're trying to fatigue muscles. We're trying to stretch muscles. We're trying to contract muscles.
I don't know about fatiguing. Fatiguing is concentric. You don't want to fatigue muscles. You definitely don't want to fatigue. Here's the thing. There is no fatigue running down a stairwell. There's no fatigue in the eccentric part. There's no fatigue. And if there's no fatigue, you can lift even heavier. There's a whole bunch of things that come with eccentric. It's superior. When it comes to lifting, doing specific things, negatives, this, that, it is superior in every way in training. It'll grow you myofibrillars. It'll cause micro damages and then fill in the cracks in the domes of repair and remodeling. And it possibly even then it can even give you an extra myofibrillar. So there's many ways in the eccentric position that you could get these myofibrillars and you could become stronger, especially when you're younger. Because you're strong. You're not old. Get it?
you're trying to build muscle tissue.
You're trying to build muscle tissue, but you're not building any muscle tissue in the gym. You have to focus on what it is that you want to grow. Like I said, you can grow more myofibulars sitting in a stretched position. See what I mean? You can force your body to grow them. They will grow.
And it doesn't matter whether you're bodybuilding, then that's most of your training. Or even if you're powerlifting or a strength athlete, you're not.
Even jumping off a box is more superior than jumping up. Okay, you see a lot of people, they jump from the ground up to a box, right? They're, whatever you want to call it. They're jumping from the floor to the box. But how many people do you know are jumping from the box down to the floor? Going up on top of the box and jumping down to the floor. Constantly doing the opposite, the negatives, the eccentrics. How many do you know? I know people that do calisthenics. They'll stand still and they'll jump up and down doing their legs by jumping. It's a kind of a squat and a jump at the same time, because they're trying to damage the fibers in the legs by doing that. It's an eccentric movement.
Heavy work and your non-speed work, still going to comprise more than half of your training is going to be the accessory work. You should be focused on building muscle, stimulating muscle, not moving weight.
Yeah, you should be focused on damaging and stretching muscle and yeah, get your body to build some more myofibular growth. Yes, definitely, I agree.
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you.
I don't agree with everything your coach says here, but some things I definitely agree. You should be building muscle. Now, like I said, what kind of muscle are you building? You need to figure it out really quickly. You need to investigate what kind of muscle you're building in the gym there. If you're adapted, what's going on? So tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm, friends. I'll see you in the next one. Yes, yes, yes. Jason Blaha. We are building muscle or just moving weight? Well, if you're adapted, you're just moving weight because you're a gym slave, lifting gym slave. See you in the next one. Ciao.